All right, good evening, folks. Let me just work my laptop for just a second. I'm going to see if I am live on YouTube. Would be very helpful if I was right now. Still trying to, it takes a bit to catch up, so just give me a second here until I see it on my laptop and then we can get started. Oh, I see that. Okay, we are live. So, okay, it looks like we have two on there. So let me know if you can hear me and everything looks fine, and then we'll get started. As you can see, I am going to be working with some really pretty paper that is in the annual catalog. So you might want to just get out your annual catalog because the bundle I'm going to be using also comes from the annual catalog. So we'll just give it a second. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hi, Carla. Thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate the support from my team members. Don't forget about our sign-on special, the starter kit special, we call it. You can join Stampin' Up, and we'd love to have you on the Inspired Daisies team. I know my Inspired Daisies do watch me live and on the replays, so you can purchase your starter kit for $155. No, not $155. You receive $155 worth of Stampin' Up products for just $99. Plus your sales tax if you have sales tax in your state. I live next to New Hampshire and they do not, so they can order the starter kit for just $99. But here in Vermont, we have a 6% sales tax. Where I live, some places it's a little bit more than that. So yeah, again, we'd love to have you on the Inspired Daisies team. So I am going to get started. If you want to grab your catalogs, I can show you what we will be working on tonight. Let me just move the cards here. We're making 2 cards tonight, 2 cards Wednesday night, and I'll have a 3D project for you on Friday. So we are working with Labeled with Love. I haven't used it yet until today. So let me just show you in the catalog where you can find it. It's a great one for craft fairs, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Oh, I guess I can't anymore, but all right. So again, it's on page 58 and 59, and it's a 2-page spread. I don't think it's more than that. So let me just double check. Sometimes they go over. No. All right. So it's a 2-page spread. Over here, you can get Keeping with Tabs, which I actually have that one, and I have the Labeled with Love. So you can mix and match. You can order the bundles in a die set or a punch set. I have the punch set, so just wanted to let you know here, over here, it says dies or punch, 2 tools, same size, shape and size, choose your favorite. So these are the dies, they're $23, and the punch is also $23, so that's really good. And don't forget, you can bundle these, and this is just $39.50. The item number for the bundle for the dies, bundle dies, is 163574, and the punch is 163571. And again, it's only $39.50, and you can't really go wrong. And if you love to make birthday cards, we've got a nice little happy birthday here, so that you can make your birthday cards. Love butterflies, they're there too. We have some 2-step stamping, which I will show you on Wednesday. That one actually wasn't too hard for me to line up. I really did like that one. And then Keeping Tabs. Let me just actually go to my bookcase and find that one. Here we go. So you can get a better look at it. So we've got Happy Holidays, which is great because that can go, Christmas is coming. It's right around the corner. We also have For You, Another Happy Birthday, Congratulations with Sympathy, Hello Friend, My List, Notes, Menu, To Do, Thank You. And these are really nice, like a kind of like a background stamp, you could use it. Let me show you what they do, how they do use it in the catalog. So over here, we've got, here's the punch or the dies and how they line them up. Here's actually the two-step stamping right here. And then over here, they punched or used the dies. I would assume they used the dies because that would be awful hard to punch. And then over here, looks like they fussy cut out the butterflies, but you can just see how versatile that is. And over here under the Keeping Tabs bundle, you guys know I make a lot of journals, and if you're a craft fair vendor, love to sell, this would be great for you. You guys know I love to make journals, and maybe on Friday, I haven't created my 3D project yet, so maybe on Friday I will create a nice little journal for you guys. I love how, I gotta find out what flowers those are. Oh, I know what they are. They're the punch. Let's see, what is that punch? Oh, this is giving me a great idea. It's Petal Park Builder is what they used over here. They used a really small one and the leaves. So I'm going to keep that out because I'm going to probably work with something like over here. This one, man, that looks a little hard for me to all line up all those. They use two different stamps there, but I don't have this punch here, but I do have the one over here. So that is on page 58 and 59. And for the designer series paper, I'm going to show it to you because in the catalog, it's supposed to be on page 101. Well, it is, but they don't have it. This designer paper is a carryover from last year. And so in order to find the designer series paper and what it's called, I know it's called Winter Meadows, but it's on, again, 101, the item number 162133. So Winter Meadow. I believe it was in last year's mini catalog, and they did carry it over. I really like it. Lots of greens and blues and kind of colors that I don't normally use, like blueberry bushel, shaded spruce. Those are the two colors that I'm going to be working with on Wednesday that I don't really use too much of. So it is here. I'm going to go through all the patterns with you. There's 6 different patterns. Actually 12, but 6 kind of like floral type of thing and trees. And the back side is just kind of like a watercolor wash. So this is the first one right here. I made my I didn't make my embossing folder. I made something with this paper. I used, oh, it was a journal, I think. But anyway, you can cut this. So you can cut this in half. And then here's your journal. I might use this one. I'll use a bigger size journal. This is giving me some great ideas. All right, so on the back side here, we've got kind of like a watercolor wash with ice, kind of like snowflake-ish type of things there. And then here's the trees. We've got patterns on both sides. They're the same, but I love this one. And right now we're almost in deer season here in Vermont. This past weekend it was youth season, so next weekend it's everybody's season. So that's Pebbled Path, which I haven't used in a while. Here are the berries. I'll be using this one today. And then on the back side we've got some Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. I'll be using this design today. Look at that, I got a dead bug there. That's disgusting. You didn't see that. I don't know where that came from. All right, so this is what it's gonna look like probably in another month here with all the snow, with all the trees. It's usually really pretty when that happens. And then on the back side, we got some smoky slate. And then this one is just lots of berries and greenery. And this is blueberry bushel. It's a little bright for me. I don't think I would use this pattern, maybe just as a highlight strip, but that's just a little bit too bright. And then we've got some Lost Lagoon and a shade of Pretty Peacock in there for the forest. And then on the back side, we've got another watercolor wash there. So let me tell you all the cardstock colors that come in the designer paper. And again, it's called Winter Meadows. On the back of our designer papers, it will list all of the colors that coordinate with the designer paper. So for instance, the Winter Meadow, we've got Basic Black, Blueberry Bushel, Garden Green, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path, Pretty Peacock, Shaded Spruce, and Smoky Slate, plus our basic white. So lots of different colors to choose from. All right, we're ready to get started. I am going to make a birthday card first, and this is what it looks like. I am probably going to change it up. I wanted this to be more like a masculine type of card, but I don't know about the Misty Moonlight. This is a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and then that's a 2-inch Night of Navy. So Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy. I want to try and see what this will look like in white, and then we can decide. So it also uses an embossing folder, and it is called, let me just grab it for you. It is called the Snowflake Sky 3D. So I chose this one because this scenery here has got lots of snow, and I'm going to sparkle this one up a little bit, but I really like the Snowflake Sky 3D. It does emboss really nicely. So that's the one we used for this card here. On the inside, I just added just a strip of designer paper. You can stamp a message in there if you would like. So let's get started with this one. Oh, wait. And then I did stamp the bottom of the envelope. All right, let me just find my card kit, which is right here. I'm using Night of Navy ink, which is that one. And we're working with photopolymer stamps, so we need to use our piercing mat or something soft. I would say phone book, but I don't think they make phone books anymore. Magazine would be ideal as well. So we're going to do our stamping first. So let me just grab, I'm going to stamp on the white circle in the Misty Moonlight circle, just in case that white is too bright. And then the envelope. Those are all the things that I need to stamp. All right, so we've got our happy birthday, and I've got it mounted on a B block, B as in boy. And I'm going to stamp this one happy birthday. Oh, I don't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see me. I think last week I was a little too far away, so... All right, and then we're going to stamp on the Misty Moonlight. So it gives us two kind of looks, and we can play with that once we get the card going. Hold on. There we go. Just for you. So I'm just going to start stamping along the bottom until I run out of space. Okay, if you wanted, you could go all the way around, but I think that might be a little too busy. So I'm just going to stamp it right on the bottom there. We're all done. Nope. I want to stamp the back side of my card. So let's get that all done. And I'm still using the Handcrafted from the Heart with the Stampin' Up! Copyright logo. This is a retired one, but I really like it because of the little heart there and that fancy cursive handcrafted. Right, now we're all done with Night of Navy, and we are going to assemble our card. It's that easy. All right, so here is the snowflake falling 3D. As you can see, it's heavy with snow down here and a little bit lighter down. And I don't know if you can see, yeah, I think it's a little shaded here at night, but you can kind of see the snowflakes there. So this one here is just going to get adhered straight onto the card base. And I'm just going to use my seal. I have noticed, and I think I'm using a new refill of seal. I think they changed it up secretly because I can see like our Seal Plus has little lines going across horizontally. Well, the Seal does too. Like, I don't know if you can see it right there. I'm finding it really easy to use, so maybe they fixed it. Because I know some people are just having a hard time using it, but I have noticed that it is working really nicely for me. I'm probably just jinxed myself, but let me go back to the card base. I didn't give you the measurements. It's 8.5 by 5.5. I've already scored it and burnished it at 4.25. And then the embossed panel here of Misty Moonlight is 4 inches by 5.25 and embossed with the Snowflake 3D. Now we've got a few other pieces here. We've got this one here, which is 4 by 1 3/4. It's Night of Navy. And that is going to be kind of like our highlight behind the scenes panel. We can add that right now. It even sounds different when I add it to the cardstock. So I might send them an email and just ask them. And grab my sample here. So I'm coming down about, I don't know, almost 2 inches from the top. And it lines up with the edge of the embossed panel. It's 4 inches across. Okay, now we're going to build our square. This is 3.25 by 3.25. Or no, is it 3.5? 3 3/4. Sorry about that. So it's a square. This is 3 by 3. I'm sorry, and 3.25 by 3.25. The Night in Navy. We will add our dimensionals. I am still using the dimensionals that were left over from my independent living facility in-person class last Wednesday. So these are from the Home for the Holidays Paper Pumpkin Refill Kit. So like I mentioned before last week, you get a lot of supplies left over in our kits. So I'm still using them. Never throw those out. All right, so I'm going to center this amongst this Night of Navy panel that's going horizontally. Oops, yeah, that's right. This one I'll jazz up a little bit. I wanted to make it more masculine because I don't really have a lot of masculine cards. And I have my son's birthday's coming up, my oldest son. He will be 34 years old. Crazy. Crazy. All right. He was my firstborn and I was 25 when I had Max. And he was, not gonna lie, 10 pounds, 14 ounces, and he was 22 inches long. So super huge baby boy. I can remember the, oh gosh, the nursery, or what do you want to call it now? It's so different now because you have the baby in the room that you are in. You never leave it, and husbands stay overnight. Well, that didn't exist back in the day, but for me, but anyway, I lost my train of thought. He was like the ladies, I remember, they thought he was like a 3-month infant because he was so big, but he really wasn't. He was just a little on the larger size. All right, so what I did was the sentiment out of that circle, happy birthday. I popped it up with 3 dimensionals. I added some seal adhesive at the top of the circle, and then 2 of the dimensionals on the bottom. And then the reason why I didn't add one here is because this 3 by 3 here is already popped up. So by doing that, it's not gonna like be off. So this is going flat onto the designer paper. And let's look at the word happy, and that will tell us if it's straight. Looks good. And we're gonna put this side by side so we can see what it all looks like. All right, so I've got my 4-inch panel, so 4 by 5 1/4, and I've got a scrap piece of Winter Meadow designer paper. It's just going to go on there. I chose the same pattern as I have on the front of the card so that everything kind of coordinates. Leave a little space on the right side of that strip here, and then we're going to flip this over and we'll add 5. Oh, I just noticed that this piece here, the designer paper, is just a little bit too long, so that always bothers me. So let me just take my paper snips here and just trim that off. It was literally just a, oh, it's stuck to my scissors here. It was just a small piece like that, but we got our paper snips and those really cut nicely. So just take an extra 10 seconds to do that, and it will make me feel a lot better. All right, so we're just gonna add this panel to the inside like that. You can add your message, whatever you want. And now we're going to sparkle it up with some, these, I found these in my stash. They are called the Opal Rounds Assortments, and they're like iridescent, like a clear iridescent, kind of like a vanilla iridescent, and Night of Navy. So I'm going to grab those Night of Navy, and I'm going to add one right here, the large one, and then I've got more of the large ones, so I want to use another one of those. And let me just add it there in that snowbank, and then let's create our triangle. I'm going to add one way up here. Okay, this one I did say I was going to jazz up just a little bit. So I'm going to take my Wink of Stella as always, and I'm going to just brush stroke over the trees to give them a little bit of sparkle. And I'm going to do all of them because we don't want to miss, we don't want to just pick and choose. We're going to give them all snow. It actually snowed overnight here. First time this year at our house, but not up in the mountains. They've already gotten snow, and come Wednesday, it's all going to melt. It's supposed to be like 70, mid-70s again, so... All right, that looks pretty good. So let's kind of put these together side by side, and you guys can let me know if you like the Misty Moonlight with the Night of Navy or the basic white with the Night of Navy. And I'd be interested to know what you guys like. Hey, Deborah, nice to see you. Caught me on my live tonight. So you guys can vote Misty Moonlight or white. And I don't see anything yet, but I'm sure it will catch up in just a second there. Nobody's about, oh, I like them both, but white stands out. Yes, I agree. Definitely when I'm right in front of me, it doesn't kind of matter. I think this is more of a masculine look, whereas this one is more maybe feminine or both. But when I looked at my laptop, for sure, I agree, Carla. This one doesn't stand out as much as this one here. So I totally agree with that. All right, so that is our first card for tonight. Our next card is a friendship card. It's called Thanks Friend, and I am incorporating the Peaceful Seasons dies, which we used last week, into this card with the sentiment. This Thanks Friend fits perfectly on the smaller banner. And then our envelope flap is going to get a piece of designer paper to make that all look good. I mixed and matched my paper. I figured I had this scrap. There's Moody Mauve in the berries here, and then there's Moody Mauve in this one. So I love to use up all my scraps of paper. Now this color combination, I wasn't really sure about, Moody Mauve with Lost Lagoon, but then I embossed it with the Distressed Tile 3D embossing folder. And let me just bring it up a little bit closer. I think it made it look a lot more elegant than if I would have just left it Lost Lagoon kind of plain. So by adding just an embossed layer, you can change up your cards dramatically. So, and then on the inside, excuse me, you are loved with a piece of designer paper that is just a scrap. All right, this one is kind of easy too. I love the card designs in the class this week, and on Friday at some point I will be emailing out a free tutorial for my email subscribers. So if you are not an email subscriber, then and you want my tutorial for this class, you'll need to sign up on my website, Inspired by Graham. That's how you'll get it. All right, so I got 2 banners just in case I mess up. I've got a second chance there, but here's the Moody Mauve that we'll be using. And I've got to grab my Stampin' Scrub. And I got to clean up, I want to clean up my stamps because when I'm using and stamping with photopolymer stamps, I don't like to let the ink stay on them too long. Because I kind of try to like to keep my stamps as clean as possible and not stain. So if you leave them on for a long time, then the chance of staining is high. Now, I know photopolymer will stain no matter what when you're using any kind of reds and pinks, but I like to definitely clean them up as quickly as possible. So I'm going to open up my Moody Mauve, and this is a horizontal card. Let me grab my piercing mat there, and I've got a banner. I might end up stamping 2. We'll see. And our envelope is not stamped. It's going to have the designer paper on it. So let's see. We need You Are Loved. Again, let me just bring this in front so I can remember what I did. Okay, got it. So I'm going to stamp You Are Loved a little bit more towards the left side because we're going to have that strip of designer series paper here. So that means we have less white to work with. So I'm just going to add this right over here to the left side. And it's got a nice little flower up here and some, I don't know, it's actually the reverse image. So that kind of looks like a tulip with some foliage or leaves sticking out. Actually, you know what? It is part of our punch. Hold on. It is right here. It's on the bow punch. So this one right here resembles that little flower. So something I just learned on the fly. All right, so let's grab our other stamp, and it says, "Thanks, friend." And let's see if I can stamp this straight on camera. Not too bad. I'm going to stamp this one too because I'm sure I'll make another card and I can have this all ready to go. There is a smooth side and a rough side to our die cut, so make sure you are stamping on the smooth side rather than this is the rough side and it just doesn't look as good, of course. I think, oh no, I'm not done yet, Karen. I've got to stamp the back of the card, so let's get that done. My sample cards are already stamped, so I don't have to worry about that, but let's grab my stamp here and Moody Mauve, and we're all set. Now we can close up our ink pad. And now that I got everything everywhere, this will be interesting to see if I can find all the pieces. All right, so here's our Lost Lagoon panel. It's, let's start with the card base again. This one's a little different. It opens like this. So it is 11 inches across and 4.25 inches tall. And I've scored and burnished it at 5.5 inches. So it's gonna open up like this. And then here's the Distress Tile 3D embossed Lost Lagoon, which is 4.25 by 4. And I'll just grab my seal and make sure I'm putting this on the deboss side. Yes. Sometimes it's a little hard to figure out what side is what because they kind of feel similar. This gets just adhered right to the front. And then we've got Moody Mauve, which is 4.25 across by 3.25. And then I have my other design, Winter Woods. It's 4 by 3. Perfect size for card making and mass producing as well. If you didn't want this embossed panel, you could use this side of the paper as your background, your 4 by 5.25. If you don't have an embossing folder or don't have Lost Lagoon, you can definitely use the back side of this one. And this goes adhered right down to Moody Mauve. We will pop this one up with some dimensionals once again. I like to choose 5 and put one in the middle here so that the panel doesn't buckle on us and kind of go crazy, damaged or what have you. So just quickly grab those backings off. Make sure our card's opening correctly. We don't want to put it on backwards. And then I'm just going to look at the pattern to see if one's going one way or the other. I guess the berries, more of them are going down in this direction. So I'm going to just center this amongst the Lost Lagoon. Just a little crooked there. All right, and now we will grab our sentiment. And this is what it would look like if you didn't put it on with dimensionals. Do you see how that's kind of just lost? It's not, it's like, it's kind of just looks like it's with the paper. So we'll give it a little bit of dimension. And I need to grab my scissors because I need to cut some of these edge pieces down. The other ones are just a little bit too big. So let me just grab a bunch here. I like to put one of the dimensionals on this. See where it's die cut right here? This is only like a 1/16 of an inch, so it can easily get ripped off. So if you put a dimensional behind the crease there, it's much more stable. And so give that a try and see if it's something that you like to do as well. And let's see, we need a smaller dimensional. So 3 would be just fine, half size. Now this doesn't really matter where it goes. The first one I put down at the bottom because I like this image here. But for this one, you can just kind of put it, just kind of, you know, go around and see where you might like it. Like right here, I think it would look good here. But I know where I'm going to go with it. It's going to be this area right up here because there's no berries. So we can fill in our sentiment in that area and not cover up or hardly cover up any of those berries. Okay. And now we will take the inside panel. We'll grab our strip of designer paper. It's just another scrap. It's 3/4 of an inch by 4, and it's going to go right on the edge right there. And of course, a little bit of white showing on the right side of that strip. And then let's add 5 little tick marks here with our seal adhesive. And this goes right on the inside here. Now I'll grab these, again, these are the Opal Rounds assortments. I'm going to go with the white, the iridescent color. And I'm gonna find those white spaces that are large enough to hold one of these, or 3 of them actually. So 2 of the larger ones and then just 1 of the smaller ones. And I need to put one either down here or up here. Since there's a lot of Moody Mauve and berries up here, I'm going to come down here into this white area. And then we've got our, hold on, these are going straight to here and we don't like that. So let me find another spot right there, I think. Yeah, that'll be fine. So it kind of looks like that, but since we added Wink of Stella on that first one, we are going to add it to the berries. So just little brush strokes on all the little berries. Trust me, you'll love it. It just adds a lot to, a lot of highlighting and sparkly effects on the berries. I think I got all of them. I did. Oh, no, I missed one right here. You just, in order to see it, you just kind of move it back and forth. And just making sure that all, yep, they all have our Wink of Stella on there. Let me show you how you can add your designer paper to your envelope flap. That's not it. This is the one. So I like to use my fine tip glue dispenser thing. I found this one on Amazon and it's not coming out. So let me grab that and just kind of, it's a really small barrel, but our quilting pin works perfect in that little barrel. There we go. So I'm just going to take it, hopefully. Oh, come on. Of course, it's going to fail on me. And my eyes are crazy. It's too dark. And, well, it's late at night. Now, if that doesn't work, then I don't know. There we go. All right, so I have a little bit more control if I use a fine tip glue pen in getting the liquid glue right to the edge. This is our multi-purpose liquid glue Tombow. Some people call it the green glue. Liquid glue. It's sticky glue. It gets all over my fingers. All right, if your paper's directional, just make sure it's going the correct way when you adhere it onto your flap. So I think that I'm gonna like it like this. I'm gonna grab this corner here and it's gonna match up to that score line on the edge of that envelope. And then I'm placing it down right on that scored part of the flap. Press it down. You can press it down over here. Now see, we have all that excess. So we can just quickly take, I like to use scissors that I don't care get sticky. So I've got a pair of kid scissors. No idea where I got them from, but they have been in my craft room for many years. And just come around that edge, the corner there real slow, and then straight down. There we go. I'm going to throw this out because it's got a little glue on it. And then here is our envelope flap. Isn't that beautiful? So let's grab this one here. Match really nicely. And then this is the first one I made with the sentiment down at the bottom. So you can see where that Peaceful Seasons die cut works perfect with the labeled with love, thanks friend sentiment. It's just perfect. It's like the perfect size to go in there. And then here's our envelope. And this one I just used a scrap of whatever I had left. And then let me just bring in the birthday cards. I've got this one here, and then I've got this one here, Misty Moonlight. I actually really do like this white one much better. So there you have it. I will be coming on Wednesday, 7 p.m. It's either going to be live or it'll be pre-recorded video. I just never know from day to day what my life is going to be like. But definitely Friday it will be most likely a journal. So I hope you enjoyed today's video of me making these cards with labeled with love. It is a bundle. It's in our annual catalog. And then the Winter Woods, we'll go through that paper one more time. You can add all of these items to your starter kit. If you're a beginner stamper, I would definitely choose this stamp set and bundle. It's a nice price point, and it's got lots of sentiments in there for you. If you're a craft fair vendor, then definitely the keeping tabs works as well. Okay, so let me just see if there's any questions. It doesn't look like we have any questions. So I'm going to sign off, and I will upload this to my email subscribers. I'll get this out to you guys tonight or tomorrow morning. And I've got to actually create my card club videos tonight too. So I'm going to get started with that. Don't forget about the free PDF on Friday. If you're on my email list, you will be receiving free tutorial from me based on this card class, and Wednesdays and also Fridays too. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you later.